tracking is the first step of recording. Tracking, you're layering up your different tracks, and then you want to choose takes, right? So let's say you have recorded the song 5 times and you finished the song, you've recorded it through your software into your DAW is what you call it, into the software, and you choose takes. Maybe you've played it 5 times, you choose the one that sounds the best, okay? And then we move into the third phase, which is producing your tracks. So we take the track, let's say you've chosen that you're going to go for take 2, right? Okay, you like take 2 of your song the best. That's the take that felt really good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add things. Now, if you want some really quick tips on what you can add to make your songs feel more produced, the simplest one is 2 guitars, right? That's a horrible guitar, but bear with me. 2 guitars. Now, what you want to use is a capo. A capo, I'm assuming you know what a capo is if you're watching this and you're interested. A capo allows you to move up and down the neck and play at different registers. What you want to do to add something is you just get the capo and you move it up and you find another chord voicing. So let's say you're playing in G at the bottom. I'll just show you actually. If you're playing in G at the bottom like this, then for your second guitar, you're going to go up there and play in C. And it's going to be the same key, but what you're going to have is you're going to have a lower register and a higher register, and they're going to work together really great. If you want an amazing example of this, go listen to Dave Rawlings and Gillian Welch. They play together. She always just strums and plays low, and he plays high-picked guitar stuff, and the sound of those 2 things together is just awesome. It works great, and it's just a really simple thing that you can do. As you go, you could add some percussion, you could add some backing vocals, you could add some different textures to make the song feel more and more full. And then what you want to do next is you want to sculpt. When you think about how someone makes a sculpture, what they're actually doing, they have a big block and they're just taking bits away until the sculpture is done. I think Michelangelo said how he made a sculpture was how he made, was it David, the sculpture? I can't remember. Basically, the idea was he took away everything that wasn't David until it was David, right? Now, production's similar. Really, you're just taking stuff away until it feels convincing. And what you want to do is add a lot. So you've got a lot of layers on there. You might have like tambourine, bass, guitars, backing vocals. You know, you could have some organ on there, harmonium, accordion, banjo, whatever. Add a lot of stuff, and I generally then take it away. You're sculpting, so you take stuff away. Next, you want to mix the songs. What does mix mean? Well, when you're mixing, all you're really doing is you're deciding on the balance, the volume, right, of each instrument. Let's say you've got a guitar, a horribly drawn guitar. Let's say you've got drums. Let's say you've got a singer, right? Now, in your mixing software, which could be Logic Pro, you're going to have volume sliders, and you're literally just balancing this. You know, you're putting the volume up and down so that they feel like they are all at a good level and things are balanced. So you don't want your vocal to be lower than your drums, or it depends, you know, every record that you listen to sounds really different. What I'd recommend you do is you actually go and start listening to stuff as if you're mixing it, and you listen, how loud have they put the drums? How loud have they put the vocals? Listen to the old Beatles records, listen to some Neil Young. It's really interesting to listen through that lens. That's what mixing is. You're just balancing volumes. It's really, really simple. It doesn't need to be overcomplicated. The final step in going from having no songs to having your finished songs ready to release is mastering, right? Now, people will say things like mastering is a dark art, and it is. It's a weird thing. But all it really is you're making it loud enough because when you're on Apple Music, let's say there's Beyonce's song, right? And it's real loud. Okay, we go up to 0 dB. Beyonce's really loud, she's up there. So what you don't want is for your song to come on and be -6 dB, so that when it comes on the radio or when it comes on Apple Music, it comes on and it's just not as impactful as a professional song. Now, all you need to do in Logic Pro, the software, is use a limiter. And a limiter will automatically set it to 0 dB. So you're just making it loud enough. The second thing you're going to want to do in the mastering process is EQ. Now, what is EQ? If you can remember on your dad's hi-fi, he would have like that thing on the hi-fi that had 3 knobs, and it was like treble, mid, bass, right? Do you remember that? So that is all EQ is. So when you turn down bass, you're turning down all the bass frequencies. When you turn up treble, you're turning up all the treble frequencies. But all it really is a way of making more of certain sounds or less of certain sounds. So to give an example, something like a kick drum, which is a big sort of circular drum, and let's say a double bass. God, these drawings are just awful. Well, they're very low frequency, therefore they're bass frequencies. Therefore, if the volume of them is very, very loud, you can bring back the bass sound and it's going to balance the mix a little bit more. Because sometimes when you put your limiter on and you turn up the volume of the whole thing, it's going to mean that actually certain things just get too loud. So you just need to change the kind of dials to get more of what you need to balance it once it's all louder. All right, guys, that's it. That's literally a very, very simple overview of how you could go from having unfinished songs to 5 finished tracks in under 12 weeks. And if you take the stuff that I've given you today and apply it, it'll work. It'll work for you. I wish you all the best in your journey, making your songs, doing your stuff. If you got any value out of today's episode, I want to invite you to come and join my club. It's my private community. There's 1,000 of us in there. I coach in there. I put all sorts of content in there. Also, if you want to apply to work with me one-on-one to help you make your songs, there is a link in the description, or you can give me a DM. Have a great day. Bye.